It's the SawCast. Real people speak that real shit on real topics every day, and I go by the name of Blueface.
And I'm Ariel. Thank you guys for joining us for this week's podcast. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. So we're gonna get into the topics this week because we got a lot of things to talk about, and there's a lot of things going on. Number one, Finesse 2 times said that his ex Erica Banks was not really woman enough for him. When he got up in the morning, he believed that his woman should get up as well. The first thing that a woman should do is tend to her man and tend to herself when she wakes up in the morning. She shouldn't be picking up her phone and figuring out what's going on social media, figuring out what's going on her phone. She should be worried about her man. And Erica Banks, she definitely agreed that he was like that, and she said she feels like Finesse wants a maid. So he's looking for a maid. He's looking for somebody to wait after him and make sure everything's clean, cook for him, and, you know, really be sounds like a traditional relationship. And she feels like that's not what she feels like. She feels like he was being too traditional and too pushy, you know, with that mindset. So that's why they didn't work out. So my question is, do you feel like one or the other is correct, or do you feel like that was just something, you know, what do you feel like? Do you feel like it was, or do you want a traditional one? Do you feel like in the morning when you wake up, your woman need to wake up?
I feel like we gotta take into context that pimping ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And he comes from that pimping culture to where that, like he be saying in his raps, he ain't picking up what he putting down. So he comes from an authoritative aspect, you know, where he wants his woman to be very submissive. Mm-hmm. But with the woman, you gotta know your personnel. You know, I say this all the time, and I'll probably continue to say it. Know your personnel. That means a lot of things, you know. Know who you're dealing with. So he know that he got a woman that's on the star status of himself. So are they both wrong? Nah, they just needed to. That's why in a relationship you gotta put that shit on the table, like what your expectations are. You can't. I feel like everybody rush into a relationship because of I think I like you. We got some chemistry. So now let's rush into this relationship. Nah, if y'all really want to get serious, we gotta start putting the things on the table. So put your expectations on the table from the get go, and you ain't even gotta be in no finesse situation. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I feel like neither one of them is wrong. I feel like they just two different people who are in relationships with each other. I feel like Finesse wants he needs a woman who isn't like a working woman, like a woman who's all about him. He needs a woman who's ready to stay at home and take care of the house. And Erica is more of a woman who's like a new woman where, you know, she goes to work, she has a career. And so when she wakes up, money's on the phone, you know, more than likely because she's an artist. So she like throughout, if she goes to sleep, artists get, you know, messages and things like that throughout the night. You know what I'm saying? They more so work a lot during the night, you know. And so I feel like she probably, when she wakes up, she probably has so many text messages and so many emails that she has to address, especially being so more so that she's an up and coming artist, you know, and, you know, things don't stop. And so if that's the type of traditional woman that he wanted, it was kind of weird for him to even go after her, because clearly that's what she is. And like Steven said, I feel like he's more so looking at it from a, you know, traditional real pimp, you know, mindset, where those type of women do tend to, I mean, they're giving all their money to the man. Like, they're going to work and giving all their money to the man. So they are waiting after him and in all possible ways. He's the top dog, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, what he cares about, what he wants is more important than, you know, his mindset, how he feels is very important for the collective. And so, and the way that he was talking about on Lip Service, we love Lip Service on SawCast, way he was talking about his relationships and things like that on Lip Service, yeah, he definitely is like the center of the relationship, because nobody can date other people he didn't even want his women dating other women. So, but they can date. He be stepping out on them for what he said. He has stepped out on them. Even though they give him a pass, but they can't step out on him, you know. So he's definitely like the center of the relationship. And for a woman like Erica, who's like, you know, a woman who works for herself and she has her own thing going, that's definitely something that's not acceptable. So yeah, they're just two different people. Me personally, when I wake up, or if I wake up and when I do have a man with me, my first thing isn't to get on the phone. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I already know where my money is coming from. So my money can wait until I'm ready to, you know, start my day. I don't have to start my day just straight thinking about the check. You know what I'm saying? So the way that I'm going to look at the way she's going to look at it differently. But I totally understand where Erica's coming from. So you got anything more to add to that?
The modern woman is different now. That's what we got to take into account. The modern woman is different now. More women are making money. So, the traditional style of relationships to where the woman gets up, cooks and cleans, and attends to your every need might not be as readily available for the men. You know, it might be more of a compromise situation because I've even had women ask me, "Oh, do you cook?" Women ain't never really asked me that. You know what I'm saying? And now that seems like that's more of an expectation, you know what I'm saying? And then I know even with the 50-50 thing, you know, because that's unrealistic to think that the majority of men just can pay for everything and you don't pay for nothing. You know, it's a lot of things that the culture pushes. It's a lot of things that just have changed just
men
because
want flowers.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Which is something I'm never going to get behind. I don't understand that. You know,
I say until we normalize giving the women flowers, let's not even touch that.
Yeah, like I feel like not a lot of women are getting flowers. Like it's a lot of y'all that don't get flowers. So why are you giving them flowers? Like,
I still don't think that that's really a real thing. That men want flowers. I've never heard.
From what I was seeing, they was all
flowers.
saying they did. I would enjoy some flowers.
I understand the theoretical, you know, aspect of it. You know, giving a person the flowers, like appreciating them while they're here. I understand that, but as far as like a man getting wooed and getting flowers, I don't know. Maybe some people see that as a compassionate thing. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know too many men that will want flowers, or at least I haven't spoke to any men that wanted flowers. I feel like let's keep that for the women. Let's get the women the flowers, you know what I'm saying? Until we normalize that as men,
I
you know.
100% agree.
Until we normalize that as men, let's get away from that trend.
100%.
Let's say that. But yeah, you know, modern women, you know what I'm saying? And then man, you gotta be realistic as well, you know. So if you're not, you know, paying the majority of the bills or all of the bills, you do gotta compromise a little bit as well. You know, make sure you cleaning something. And if you are a dude that cook, you know what I'm saying, and she wants you to cook and you willing to cook, cool too. But men and women just gotta know, you know, because you're gonna have to give and take somewhere, and get it. So I just think they both had a point of view, but you know, those are the any points that I would say on that topic.
Okay. Next, we have Megan Thee Stallion is back. We are so happy to see Meg. If you watched our old episodes of the podcast, you will hear us. We were always on Meg's side. We always knew that nigga did it. He is a nigga that looks like he would do it, acts like he would do it. He was being reckless, and the way that he was moving was very petty. So it was very clear that he did it, and we never thought he didn't do it. Me and Steven haven't supported him since we found out that he did that, because that's some lame ass shit. Like, if you are supporting him, why? But we haven't supported him. So we are Team Meg over here, and we're so happy that Meg is back. She looks happy, she looks healthy, she looks great. I don't know if the weight loss is due to stress or anything. I hope that she's in a better place. She's been through a lot. So I'll just wish her the best, and I'm just happy to see her.
For sure. Few other points, you know, like you said, happy to see her back. I know that around the media, they was some of y'all youngsters don't know who Pam Grier was, but she had yeah, she was one of the, I guess you could say, finest women back in the day that was an actress, entertainer, and then a lot of people loved her, because she was like the essence of, like, one of the essences of beauty, back then. One of the women that you think about when you think about beauty back then. And then the reason why I'm tying that in because Megan had a Pam Grier-esque type photo that was like, okay, I see what you was doing with that. And I was just wondering, Meg, were you tapping into your inner Pam in that motherfucker? But also, I'm looking forward to some new music. She might have some bangers out there, Yeah, shit, that's all I got to say on that. She's back, she looked wild, full in effect, looking glowing, all that good shit. You did.
Yeah, good for her. I'm so happy for her because that was a traumatic thing to go through, and especially publicly. So all the dragging, all that crazy stuff they was bringing up, just ignorant shit. But I'm just happy that it turned out the way that it did, and I feel like the justice system actually did what it was supposed to do once. So shout out to Meg. Next, Ja Morant. Ja Morant, we talked about him last week.
LOL. He
had an interview this week with Jalen Rose, and it was like a 20-minute interview, not too long. Just I feel like just apologizing and letting everybody know what happened. And so Stephen, how did you feel about the interview?
Like I said, LOL. It looks a bit scripted, in my opinion.
Well, of course.
Just a tad bit scripted.
If his team is any good, it would be scripted. It has to be scripted.
I don't know if it's... I don't want to go there because, I like Ja, I like Ja Morant.
Me too.
It's just that the antics that he was doing, he needed to bring some attention to it. He got some time to think to himself. That was great. From the interview, it seems sincere. So I just want him to back up what he's saying in the interview. But as far as him winning the championship, I don't believe that.
You don't believe?
The Grizzlies
he did say they were
winning
going
the
to win. But why wouldn't he
championship.
say that? He's supposed to be confident in his team, and they're really high up in the West, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like number 2 or number 3. Last time I checked, so
I mean, they have a
chance.
High
number 3. They got a slight chance.
I don't know.
But when you get to the playoffs, that shit get different.
Yeah, because my team, the Warriors.
But I will say this: I would love to see him win. I would love to see him win because it would be a young team. They'd be finally silencing the critics.
And they doing pretty good without him too.
Yeah, but they have that.
They
have that type of team though, where they have enough other good players to where that they balance each other out enough, and they have a pretty stout defense, so they could probably sustain without him, even if he wasn't, they superstar, because he just adds another dynamic. When you need that point, he's going to get that point because he's going to drop to the bucket. He adds he's an unstoppable player. At times he's
great.
unstoppable. So like I said, I would love to see them win. Seems scripted, seems sincere. I just want him like I said before, just don't record any dumb shit. And you'll be great. You'll be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You keep the media out of your business so you can keep making the money.
Like, I don't feel like you should be the one to expose yourself. Like, somebody else should expose you. So, and I think that he's learned his lesson, and I feel like, I think we were talking about this personally, me and Steven, like if they were going too far with it, and I just feel like he needs to go through what he had to go through. I don't know about the fines and stuff. I feel like those are kind of excessive. I don't remember how much exactly they were, but I will say that, like, as far as him having to do interviews and all that stuff he has to do as a top basketball player, like a star basketball player. So at the end of the day, like, I feel like I'm glad that he went through that. I hope it was a learning lesson. I believe that he's going to stop doing what he's doing. I believe that he was stressed out, and I think that he is going to change. And I just feel like Jalen Rose, when you do interviews, don't try to incriminate the players, especially because you're a basketball player. You were a former basketball player, so it's like, why were you trying to ask him about if the gun was his? That was kind of weird. So yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, it was kind of, it just feels, I don't know, I was expecting like Stephen A or somebody to do the interview, so it was crazy seeing Jalen Rose on there, but congratulations to him for getting the interview like that. You know?
It was funny though, seeing him on there.
It was kind of, I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be Stephen A for sure, or, you know.
Maybe they would have asked him too
Charlie
many.
Barkley or something. I don't know.
On real questions.
Yeah, Shannon or something. I don't know.
Hey, but we saying that, so he might be on those platforms as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That might have just been the first one, because you know when they get the first one out there, then they hop to the other ones. So, for sure.
Sure. So, our next one is Blueface. So, Blueface and Chrisean have been going back and forth. The last thing we saw was that he told her to get an abortion. He would pay her $100K. She said, I got $100K, I need it. And then he said something about, you don't wash your clothes. You didn't wash none of our clothes. He showed all of us when we didn't ask. Everything that we hear about them, we don't ask to hear. Even if you do everything you can on Twitter, on your social media to not see them, they're going to come up. Somebody's going to say something. But anyways, he showed.
Retweet him.
Oh my God, he showed that she didn't wash their clothes, and he showed that it was laundry everywhere. Probably like 2 days later, she came and started doing the laundry on camera. And he was calling her, he was telling her, I want an abortion, I hate you. But then she showed a text message of him like, I love you, and me like, baby, I miss you, and all that shit. So at this point, to be honest, me and Steven is probably never going to talk about Chrisean Blueface as a relationship, because we don't really give a fuck about them. They're not really, to me, they're just a regular ass black, you know, ghetto ass baby mama, baby daddy relationship. Like, I've seen relationships like them so many times, and I'm not, it's just like, it's ghetto shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm into ghetto reality stuff, so I mean, that's how I look at it, but it's not something I really want to talk about on my platform. I just feel like they regular ass ghetto ass couple. Like, I don't know, it's not really much to talk about to me if you're a black person and you understand or you've seen it before. To me, they're not special. I don't know. I like Chrisean, like, and what she does, and I like, she's pretty entertaining and everything, but them as a couple is just my baby daddy, ghetto ass baby daddy, baby mama relationship, and I'm just not interested.
So this toxicity has been broadly marketed and advertised to minority folks, you know?
For sure.
So I feel like their relationship, it's basically, like you said, just a public kind of normal toxic relationship that you see, you know. I thought, you know, I don't know why, you know, I was optimistically thinking that their relationship being on such a major platform, you know, seeing it all the time, that they will recognize that they have issues, and that other people that were in similar relationships would learn that, okay, we do have problems, we do have issues, and we do need to resolve these, and we do need to work on ourselves. But the one thing that I forgot about that is it takes time and effort and willingness on both parties. You know,
yeah,
I'm not going to say that they're not working on it. You know, neither one of them are working on it. But it's just the fact that the influence that those two people have over other people, you know, and they might feel like that's normal. You know what I'm saying? As long as, because it's like people who don't know how to separate reality from like TV, you know what I'm saying, from social media, you know, from things like that. So we see the toxic in their relationship, you know, we see that, and then some people think that would be normal. You know, if that's not really normal, you should be able to communicate and not have to go to a social media. You know, you should be able to love the person that you're having a child by. you should be able to want to be with somebody, you know, or you should be able to recognize that you two not working and then separate.
That's not normal.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it should be, but I don't feel like that's normal.
Yeah, because, you know, I think that normal isn't normal anymore.
It's not.
You know,
it's not.
What's right ain't popular no more.
Exactly.
So,
and being unethical and really incorrect is right.
Yeah, and that's what sells.
It's normal now.
Yeah, it's
I won't say not right, but I'll say it's normal.
It's normal now because that's what's broadcast the most, so that's what people gonna pick up. You know what I'm saying? That's what we tuning into.
Like, we don't even, we're desensitized. You know what I'm saying? So when we see something that's immoral, unethical, even downright sad and sadistic, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it don't even move us. Sometimes we gotta be real far to the left to move us. You know what I'm saying? So that's how desensitized we are to this shit.
Yeah, and the pandemic definitely added to that because it put a whole lot of it like
a bunch of the trauma. Y'all gotta remember that we lost 1 million people. I think that we've been desensitized because of that. Like, we lost 1 million Americans in this mother. Like,
it's like
just died.
The trauma. It's like traumas in your life. Boom. Then those same traumas happened in this span of time in the pandemic. That was like a flash. It was like, damn, like all of that happened. And then it was continuously happening. We went through a pandemic and an economic decline at the same time, which is beyond me. You know what I'm saying?
And still are going through it 3 years later.
Right. And the crazy thing is I think the fact that the wheels are churning again, sometimes we forget that it's not back to normal. You know what I'm saying? Until we go to the grocery store, and then we like, damn. Or until we try to fill up our gas tank, then we like, damn. But when we moving and grooving and doing anything else, we not really realizing that, damn, we still under trying times. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to say that it's rough, it's hard out here, but also back to their relationship, it's very toxic. At this point, I don't know what the fuck they should do, because you should say they should separate, you should say they should be together. They're good for entertainment, I say that for sure. They're good for entertainment, and they don't have this strict, like, terrible, like, encounters all the time, but they feed into their vices, and that's what feeds into their toxicity. And you look at their families, and it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Like, a lost cause raising a lost cause ain't gonna do nothing. You feel me? But create a lost cause. You dig? Yeah. So, her family, knuckleheads over there. His family got some knuckleheads. They be trying, but not really, because they being successful with what they doing, so why the fuck should they change? You know? But like I said, if you have a toxic relationship anywhere near this, you need to do some contemplation, and you need to figure out what's the best for you, because at the end of the day, you need to be happy in life. Fuck what's publicized out here. Stop comparing yourself to these celebrities. They not happy at the end of the day. And you be seeing their relationships when they put on Front Street, they show you they not happy. So look in the motherfucking mirror, go on a fucking notepad, whatever you need to fucking do, and see what's gonna make you happy. And then create your happy plan and go by that. Fuck the media. Fuck what your mama think. Fuck what your sister, your daddy, your brother think. Because at the end of the day, we can't make each other happy. She gotta make her happy. I gotta make me happy. You gotta make you happy. And so that's just what we need to do nowadays. Because this toxic relationship, it's just wild. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself out of toxic situations, whether you're in toxic friendships, whether you're at a job that has you depressed or whatever. Move the fuck around. It's time to move the fuck around. It's in that season. Time to move the fuck around. Separate yourself to elevate. You dig?
Yeah, dig. So yeah, there you go. Okay, our next topic is Micheal Jordan. So Micheal Jordan is, you know, in talks of selling his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. And it was said that he probably, when he bought it for $180 million. and it looks like it's probably going to sell for 1.7 billion. And he bought it what year he bought this thing? Like
2013, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Around that time in 2013.
So he bought it maybe like 10 years ago, and in 10 years, it went from the value of 180 million to 1.7 billion. And so that's probably like at least a 500% profit in his original investment, which is insane. Do I think he should sell it? I feel like if you have an investment that you don't believe in anymore, or you just don't feel like keeping up with it, or you're where he is and you made 500% profit on it, and I mean, if you're going to make 500% profit on it and you don't want to maintain it anymore, why not give it away? You definitely should go ahead and sell it. Like, this would be the time to get rid of it before, it tanks or something like that, because you never know what can happen. You never know. So, like, money today and investing in business is better than money tomorrow. So, if you can get some cash money in your hand right now, that's better than any future cash flow that you could ever get. So, like, yes, if he needs to do it, if he doesn't believe in it, if he can make 500% profit on it, if he doesn't feel like maintaining it, get rid of it and cash out and go on about your business and let somebody else run that is passionate about it, is ready to get behind it. Another thing I think that shows is that how inflation has really changed things.
That's a T.
10 years, something that cost 180 million 10 years ago is now worth 1.7 billion. So, like, I was just like communicating with like some people about houses and how they like bought a house like 4 or 5 years ago for 180,000. That house is now worth 280,000. So 5-year difference. If you would have kept that house for 5 years and maintained it, did a little something to it, you could have made $100,000. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think, like, if your payments was $2,000, which they probably wouldn't have been on a $180,000 loan, like, like, you definitely would have made a profit off of that house just keeping it into your family. So, like, it's just a testament of how crazy and insane inflation is, and how if you do have an investment that somebody would want even a little bit in the future, or if you find an investment or see something that you think somebody will want a little bit in the future, you need to invest in it, because clearly, what I'm saying, the prices are going to skyrocket in the next few years. So I think that's insane, and if he's doing it, I think he should go for it. What you think, Stephen?
I think that patience is a key when it comes to wealth. I feel like the reason why people are wealthy because they're willing to wait for something to appreciate in value. So the lesson here is you have to have an opportunity fund. So what I say is, if you can, if you don't know about an emergency fund, before I even say that, an emergency fund is saving up money so that it will save you in a hard time, whether you lose your job, so you can be less stress-free, or something comes up, some big expense over like $2,000 or $1,000 comes up, you won't feel the hit of it so much, So normally what an emergency fund is, most people say 3 to 9 months to 12 months of whatever your bills for the month are. You know what I'm saying? So whatever your bills for the month are, 3 to 6 months of those, or a year, that is an emergency fund. But I think what we need to start thinking about, and when I was watching Earn Your Leisure, I forgot the brother's name, but he said that we should start having an opportunity fund. So one thing about pandemics, anytime trauma, stress, any time of depressing time, there's always room to make money. Anytime something goes bad, there's always a way to make money from it. And you can attest to this because in the pandemic, you was making money off of the mask. With the actions by Ariel,
Yeah,
you was selling the mask, you was getting some extra cash. You know what I'm saying? And the pandemic, she turned into damn near a seamstress. And she was making, you know, custom apparel and things of that nature. So, because due to the pandemic, you know, it gave her an extra way of accruing currency. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Like, that's why you need to, because a lot of times, like right now, just as far as stocks, some things are on sale as far as stocks. You know what I'm saying? And then even real estate, some real estate plays are going to be on sale. You know, some things it just you gotta start thinking. You know what I'm saying? Start paying attention, because anytime everybody thinks something is a good time to sell, it might be a good time to buy because everybody's trying to sell it. So think reverse logic sometimes, because that's how investors get rich. That's how investors get wealthy, because once everybody's trying to sell something that can eventually appreciate in value, then you'll realize that, oh dang, it's just about cycles, because things happen in cycles. And what Micheal Jordan did is he saw a team that really haven't, like when he bought into the team, they was they wasn't really doing too much, you know what I'm saying, making too much noise. So he held them for a little time. He knew that him being Micheal Jordan, it might cause some people to come there and play there. And he wrote it out for a little minute, and then now he's thinking, you know, after a while, after you have an investment for so long and it accrues so much interest, you're like, wait a minute, hold on, I got compound interest on this. Damn, I can actually cash this out for this, so then I could actually secure my wealth because I invested correctly. So I think that teaches us a lesson, you know, invest into, you know, don't just have a savings account. You know, if you can, don't just have a savings account. If you can invest into something else or another asset, that's great too. But like I said, Micheal Jordan did his thing with that. And the key takeaway from here is sometimes you have opportunities that you can capitalize on, but you can't capitalize on those opportunities if you don't have the money to capitalize on those. So he had the money and he had the patience. I think a lot of people want to get rich quick. When you're wealthy, that shit ain't quick. Any person who's wealthy, listen to an interview. The long money comes 10, 20 years. Be patient. Trust me. And if you don't trust me, go look at them. Go look at the wealthy motherfuckers. Because I ain't there yet, so you probably be like, nigga, you ain't talking about shit. Shut your motherfucking ass up. You might be right. But go look at them.
This a real leisure ass nigga.
Go look at them wealthy motherfuckers.
He just took over this segment. He just took over this segment.
This
is segment.
I'm saying.
The investment segment, he was gonna take over that.
I'm saying, them wealthy motherfuckers, go look at their interviews. They made money over the years. I'm just saying, that's my take.
Alrighty. Next, Spice, not Ice Spice, Spice, the reggaeton singer. She took a photo that was interesting. We all thought that when she took this photo that she was pregnant.
Congratulations.
There was blue backgrounds, and she looked like she was about 9 months. So we thought, hey, not Ice Spice. Oof.
Right,
you know, since Spice, Spice,
right, since Ice Spice, hey.
So Spice, we thought that she was pregnant, and then she came on and said she's not pregnant. And so, and she said she took the picture looking pregnant, Photoshop pregnant, looking 9 months with blue around her, like she is having a boy, because she wanted to symbolize new beginnings. And I feel like that was insane. I feel like, why would you, to me, that's a little level of crazy. And that's a different level of thirsty, because I feel like
thirsty.
I feel like that's thirsty,
hey,
because
Daddy said she's a thirsty bitch.
Thirsty bitch. So I feel like at the end of the day, like, for you to go those lengths for attention, that's wild, because like that's it's like, to me, like, faking a pregnancy is crazy. Like, with everything that's going on, people, I'm not even saying like people can't, I mean, some people can't have kids, and that's sensitive topic for women in general. And it's just like, why would you play like that? Like, to me, that was so weird. Why did you act like you were pregnant or not? Like, there's so many ways to, to capture, to express a new beginnings. And I just feel like that's not the way to do it. And I feel like at the end of the day, that, to me, like, I do be saying good press is good, or bad press is just press, period. But at the end of the day, that's not good press. Like, you could lose some of your fans because of that, because that's just insensitive and it's just weird. It's just weird. Like, why are we acting like we're pregnant? Having somebody Photoshop you pregnant, looking 9 months pregnant, having all of these people go out of their way to tell you congratulations and things like that, knowing that you're not pregnant. What would make you do something like that? To me, that's a different level of thirst for attention. She did that as well. Like, I'm a Love and Hip Hop fan. I've watched it since the beginning. New York was the first Love and Hip Hop. I've been watching it forever. So she was on there making her skin, like, she came in looking completely white and said she bleached her skin when she really didn't. Like, it's just like a cry for attention. And if I was like one of the people like in her life, so I would go and like try to figure out like what's wrong with her mentally, like try to get her some help, because for her to do that and act like she's pregnant, that right there is not normal. So I think that was crazy. What about you, Steven?
I think that this is the era of doing the extreme to get your point across. Charleston White, he does it a lot. Commercials nowadays, you don't know what the fuck the commercial is about until the end of it. It could be a Pepsi commercial and the lady could be giving birth and be happy. You be like, what? People exercising, and this is a freaking Sprite commercial and they drinking a Sprite at the end. Sprite is not that refreshing. What are we talking about?
It is.
They got her.
I'm not
but
I'm not gonna let the person who orders Sprite every time we go somewhere so it ain't refreshing.
I don't order Sprite every time we go somewhere. Only when you go to McDonald's.
If you want a soft drink, you get Sprite.
If I want a
every
soft
time.
drink,
yeah, it's not nothing but Sprite.
Ordered water last time I went out.
Or I said a salt. If you get a drink other than water or liquor, it's Sprite when we go anywhere.
But that ain't what you said at first. But I digress.
So get the hell out of here.
So
it's refreshing to you too.
It's because it tastes good. I mean, it's refreshing. Not after a workout.
You pick it every time, so you must think.
Not after a workout.
Who's drinking that after a work? Nobody.
That's my point.
What?
They put it on the motherfucking commercial.
Once you work out?
After you working out, you crack a Sprite open. That's my point. See, they do the most to get the point across. And thank you.
But that's an advertisement, though. This bitch put it on her Instagram. She put it on her Instagram. Like, she's gonna have a baby.
Her new beginnings.
She didn't say that.
That's advertising her new beginnings.
She let people say in the comments.
She said it after.
She let people tell her in the comments, congratulations on your new baby. And she ain't got no fucking baby.
But look at here. Like I said, this is that era of doing the most to get a point across. Some other celebrities do it. I named one other one. And I feel like some of those celebrities also do it because she's an international artist more per se than she is an American artist. So to keep her name relevant in the media, she would have to do something outlandish like that to get people talking. Because before that, did you see her on your timeline? No, you didn't. And then when that happened, you did, and more people are talking about it, right? So it's not moral when people do things like that anymore. They're not. The moral compass is broken now. Doesn't matter. People will do anything to get famous and stay relevant. So that's just the point another point that I'm making is people do anything and they don't really care how offensive it is because, oh, it's a joke, right? Ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? Where it's really not funny and it may be a little fucked up, but sinister is another way that people that people keep their name relevant as well, because that, you know, like I said, do outrageous things, do some shit that's fucked up, but it's gonna get people to talk about you and keep your name in the press and keep you relevant, because her name isn't that relevant in America, but internationally in the islands, her name is ringing more bells than it is over here. So to stay current, besides being on the TV show, I can see that being a part of her plan to stay current. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see her popping up on my timeline, but that was the only time I saw her pop up on my timeline when she did that. Because when she did that, then the people's reaction like, what's wrong with that hoe? You know what I'm talking about? But other than that, no, you know what I'm saying? So I think the moral compass is broken now. People don't give a fuck. They do whatever we just to stay relevant.
We did just address that.
I'm saying,
it's ignorant shit. At this point, that shit is ignorant, and I cannot believe she did that. Get help. Get help.
You just said mentally ill? Is that what you're talking about?
Mental illness for sure. For sure.
Hey, yo, boy, you about to talk about the boy next, ain't we?
Last topic is Trump is about to get arrested from what he said, and people are like, cause I was reading the article, and it said that, you know, on CNN, and it said that nobody told him he was getting arrested. The prosecutor's office didn't say anything about him getting arrested. Nobody said it, but at the end of the day, Trump is a former president of the United States. He still has Secret Service around him. If he does, I also read this in the article, if he does get arrested, the Secret Service has to arrest him. So I'm sure the people on the Secret Service team that has to watch him, because once you become the president, after you get 24-hour Secret Service, like you have security for the rest of your life, and we pay for that, taxpayers. And so like, them are his friends at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? They protect him. Like, anybody's security who's around them 24/7 is going to protect them and be their friend. So if they lock him up, they are going to be the ones to take him to jail. So he would know. So yeah, like, everybody like, oh, nobody said he was going to. He know he going to jail. You know what I'm saying? And they've been trying to build a case on him, saying that he used election money to bribe people. You know, the money that he got from the voters and stuff like that, which would be taxpayer dollars, because if you look on your tax return, they do ask you, did you give to any presidential funds or like anything like that? So that's something serious that the government takes into account when they're, you know, doing taxes and counting money and all that stuff. So yeah, he supposedly used some of that money to bribe other people. And so that is what they're trying to arrest him for. And like I said, if he gets arrested, Secret Service is going to do it. So, like, I don't think that he's just randomly saying, like, I'm going to get arrested. Another thing that he's doing is what I just saw right before we started the podcast, was that he's trying to get the NYPD to take off tomorrow. He doesn't want them to work tomorrow. And they said that the NYPD is trying to do everything they can to get ready for tomorrow, because he's already incited all of his supporters to protest and take back America. And you know what happened last time he did that in Washington, D.C. So he told them to do that, and he's supposedly getting arrested in the New York courts. So it'll be in New York. And so, like, if I was you, and I was in New York, I'm gonna pray for y'all. Just really gonna send some good positive energy towards y'all, because I know it's gonna be a shit show tomorrow. And I'm not gonna say I can't wait to talk about it next week. I just hope nothing happens bad tomorrow. And I just hope that he get arrested. He gonna get out the same day and be, you know, whatever happens, you know what I'm saying? People are saying also that this is going to fuel his next election and fuel his supporters and stuff like that, which it may, but I feel like hopefully we've already all voted against him. A majority of America voted against him when he was in his election, like the last election, so I don't believe that that's the case. But we do know his supporters are pretty violent. So I just really, really wish and hope for the best for everybody who's in New York tomorrow. Because it's gonna be a hot mess. It's gonna be a hot mess. What do you think, Steven?
I'm not just saying New York, I'm saying in general. I don't think that we all should play it cautiously, because he does cause a bit of a rumble and he tugs on people's strings, specifically his supporters and some people that's not really even his supporters. He still tugs on their strings, so you might want to be careful out there in general, you know. So yeah, so it's interesting, like you said, it's interesting to see what's going to transpire. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe looted and rioted or protested a little bit from it. It would be interesting to see. You know,
it's gonna be interesting to see how many people from the NYPD don't show up to work tomorrow.
At least 100.
So
maybe 1,000.
And that might just be because, and it's crazy because it's gonna be hard for us to know if those are his supporters or not. Because it could be just some of them that's like scared for their fucking lives. You know what I'm saying? And don't want to work this shit.
I think it's just a test. I think he also testing his power again. Because he's seeing how much power does he still have. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people are thinking this is going to, you know, bring more supporters on. And of course, it has the potential to, but it's finna be something. So.
Yeah, it's either going to be something or it's going to be nothing at all. So. You got 2 ways to go, but you know, I work from home, so I mean, I'm playing it safe.
Yeah, if I was you, I would turn on CNN tomorrow and
all day in your background.
Watch it, make sure you're paying attention, and just, you know, really see what's going on. Look at the markets tomorrow, see what the fuck is going on, cause shit's finna go down. Yeah,
check everything out, and you know, see what it's all about.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's it, y'all.
It's the SawCast.
It's the SawCast. That is our podcast this week. Like I said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, of course, and you know, keep coming back. You know, up with us.